Quick break. So it's my pleasure now to announce Professor Yan Shuai, who's a very old China friend of mine. I lived and worked in China from 2000 to 2004, and Yan was one of my very early friends and an early friend of Charles Wood's. Yan's really a very growing and influential figure within the China publishing market. Yan is the president of the Chinese Society for University Journals. He also is a publisher and editor at the Tsinghua University Press. Tsinghua is one of the top 2, if not top 1, universities in China. So he comes with a lot of background and information. Yan has presented at SSP before, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and it's a pleasure to have him back here. We really couldn't have a China session without having someone from China, so I really am pleased to have Yan here talking and give you his perspective really of what's happening internally in the China market. There's a lot of things going on, and without further ado, I'll sort of let Yan come up and give his presentation.
Thanks, Adrian. I'm very happy to be here after 6 years. In 2006, I spoke in SSP meeting in the same hotel. First, I should introduce my wife and my daughter. It's a Chinese delegation to this special session. My wife is a librarian from Beijing Forestry University. So she has something to do with the author, the readership. And I'm just between the author and the reader. I'm an editor and now a publisher for the TUP journals. And my daughter, Yan Ziyu, she's just finished the first year of the university, the law school. She is now studying in City University of Hong Kong. So Philip just mentioned from 1956, Chinese government, the former Chairman Mao, stopped the traditional Chinese characters. So from that year, we use the simplified. But my daughter from last year learned to speak Cantonese and learned to read and write traditional Chinese characters. So things have changed. First, I have to admit, I have learned a lot from these morning's speakers, from Laura to David, John, and Philip. There is a Chinese ancient poem. I don't know, maybe I don't have chance to know the real face or the real appearance of the mountain because I'm living inside the mountain. So from outside, maybe you have a real viewpoint about China. Second, maybe my knowledge is not correct. I have so limited information about Chinese marketing because for 26 years I had been the editor, only an editor for the university journal. And only from last year my job changed from editor to the publisher of the university press. So have something to do with the marketing and the sales, and I have to concern about the profit. So this morning, so many people talk about non-profit, non-for-profit. And I have to say my English is not too good. I only began to speak English from 1987 when I was 24 years. So before I was 24 years old, I only read and tried to listen and understand a little English. And only from 1987, with the help of 2 American English teachers, just like Philip, they went to China as a volunteer to teach the staff, the postgraduates in the universities to speak English. So from that year, when I was 24 years old, I began to speak English. So sorry if my English is not too good, and please not expect too much for my English. If you cannot understand my English, just put up your hands. I try to speak slowly. So my slides have more text and not more data or graphs, because my English is not too good, so I just write. So who am I? I talk on and the cultural reform and the impact of Chinese ATM publishing, and what TUP, the Tsinghua University Press, can do, and why we can do, and how will TUP will do. So I graduated from Beijing Forestry University. Laura mentioned there are some 211 projects university from 1995 Chinese government. They thought we should have some world famous universities. So facing the 21st century, Chinese government wants to have more than 100 world famous universities. So this can be called K universities in China. So Beijing Forestry University is one of them. And I got my PhD in management in 2003. So from 1985 to last year, I had worked in the Beijing Forestry University as the director of the Journal Publishing Department. So this Forestry University, Philip also mentioned you have gone to the University of Agriculture and Forestry in just west to Xi'an city. So China will have some universities named after industry, forestry, agriculture, geoscience, technology, and something like that. Because we learned from Soviet Union system, we'll have some different individual university or colleges focused on one discipline. But now things have totally changed. Beijing Forestry University, we will have less than 10% of the students study in forestry sciences. So most of them are non-forestry students. So this is the university main teaching building. It's a road with trees, so it should be forestry. It's my former office building. And another teaching building, and in the night. So I just put the quotation marks on publishers, because we are not a real publisher. In China, we have so many universities who owned or edited some journals. So we publish Journal of Beijing Forestry University. Every university has at least one university journal or two. We also have the social sciences, have education, forestry education in China, forestry studies in China. So before we have the title named after university name and even China. Now we have changed. So from this year, forestry studies in China will be changed. The title will be changed to Forestry Science and Practice. Will be quite international. And Chinese birds, because we have so many birds, as I often told the people, as we have big forests, we have more and more birds. So we have to research on birds. This university journal is very Chinese characteristic. The social sciences started from 11 years ago. And forestry education in China. So the Chinese birds is a new journal started from 2010. As David mentioned, each journal, if you want to publish formally in China, you have to have the CN number. It's a Chinese number. It's equivalent to ISSN. So this journal, from 2010, if you want to have a new title to be published, you have to have a publisher. So before we went to higher education press to be the publisher of the journal. This is a kind of reform. But from this year, with the change of my job, the publisher be changed to Tsinghua University Press. So the lower, the right corner, will have a press there. It's a publisher. So Tsinghua University is a university with almost the longest history in China. Last year was the 100th anniversary of the university. So something found related with the Chinese, with the American government returned the war during in the end of the Qing dynasty. So we have a big war in China to rebel the government or the control of the Western authorities in some provinces and cities. So after that war, some countries' governments were so kind to return the reparation. And during the anti-Japanese war, this university moved to Kunming, the southwestern of China, to cooperate with Peking University and Nankai University to form a southwestern association university. And this university have produced a lot of fruits, the research fruits, and also a lot of talents. Now very famous in American or in China, some Nobel Prize owner graduated from this university during the Second World War. And now the president of China, Hu Jintao, he is a graduate of Tsinghua University. And for the next president of China, also will be a graduate of Tsinghua University. In America, you cannot expect who is the next president of the United States of America. But in China, you can have the 99% right to expect which one. Because now the vice president and the vice presidents of the army, the National Military Committee, is Xi Jinping, also a graduate from Tsinghua University. So we can expect he will be the next one. So this is Tsinghua University. The library is on the corner of the lower right. Tsinghua University published some Chinese journals. So they also have a university journal, the Journal of Tsinghua University, and started almost 100 years ago. And the Journal of the blue ones, the Automotive Safety and Energy, is Chinese, but very specific, only on the car safety and energy saving. And the Physical and Engineering, this title is educational journal, only published for the university teachers and experiment staff. And computer education, and science and technology and publication. SSP have cooperated with LPSP, you have land publishing. This science and technology and publication is also a journal for the STM and scientific book and scientific newspaper publishing for the publishers and editors and also the students majored in this publishing. And we have English journals, Tsinghua Science and Technology, and Nano Research. So David I mentioned, you cannot guess who published this journal. Cell research or nano research, building simulation, and networking science, Journal of Advanced Ceramics. And also I mentioned Chinese version moved from Higher Education Press to Tsinghua University Press. So before the University Press are very comprehensive, covers almost everything in the university. From this year, this university journal, Tsinghua Science and Technology, we have not changed the title, the name of the journal, but we have changed the coverage, the scope, to only publish the papers on information technology. And also from this year, before we cooperated with elsewhere, and very sorry from this year, the board members and the authors, they like to cooperate with IEEE. So from this year, we co-published with IEEE. And we also use Scholar One, and we'll use Scholar One from next month. Another research, last year we have got a relatively high impact factor, is ranked number 4 in China. For this year, they expect we can have an impact factor over 6.5, quite good for the Chinese journals. And we have some editors. The chief editor is a Tsinghua graduate, now a professor in Stanford University. This journal co-published with Springer. We use EM, the Iris company. And this one we have 2 associate editors. One is from University of Pennsylvania, and one university from Europe. I forgot the country. And also co-published with Springer. So this is a Chinese one. This is Science and Technology and Publication. And also I'm the president now of the Society of China University. We have the members of the journals over 800. And also I'm the member of the working group for CAST. CAST is the biggest umbrella for all the associations at the national level. And also I'm the member of the standing board of the Chinese scientific editors. Also the Chinese CPA. CPA, the Chinese Periodical Association, is an association directly under the GAP. In China we have a different situation. All the national associations should have government control. So GAPP, the General Administration for Press and Publication, they have their associations. The Ministry of Education have some. My administration ministry for CUJS is the Ministry of Education. So the cultural reform, Nora and David talked a lot. So we have just tried to be more commercial, but not totally private. For the content control, the government of China wants to, in their own hands. The private company, the private funds, can enter the circle of the distribution, the online products, but not for the content. So the editors have to be registered in the government, in the local, the provincial level. For me, I should be, every year I will go to the Beijing Ministry Bureau for Press and Publication for the license. It's just like a license for doctors and lawyers. It's also a different thing with the West. We have a license to be the editor, to be, you can be responsible for book publishing and journal editing. So the cultural reform can increase the soft power. I was told some days ago the American government, the state council want to kick out some Confucius colleges teachers from America because the influence of the culture may be too big. I don't know. Also, maybe some teachers are not qualified to be teaching in the United States universities. But some days later, the government changed their orders. The teachers of Chinese languages can stay in the States. So the cultural reform is a big issue and a very tough task for the next 5 and 10 years. So the Chinese government want to reshift the market players. So as David mentioned, the Tsinghua University Press from 3 years ago changed from a university subsidized press to a totally commercial press. So the goals of the publishing reform to have more stronger, bigger publishing forces and to shut down some smaller ones and weak ones. But it's not easy because we have so many smaller and weak journal publishers or the editing departments. So it's not easy for the government to complete this task. So the TUP, the Tsinghua University Press, we established more than 30 years ago. Now we have 5 branches. So Tsinghua University is very famous for information, computing, science, engineering. And also from these years, we put some efforts into the studies of social sciences. And also, so from last year, we have a general publishing center. So Tsinghua University Press, we will launch some new titles with the advantages of Tsinhua's some very good disciplines. So the ceramics is a journal published with the help of the professors with the Department of Materials. And from next year, we will launch a new title called Friction. And also we want to be the publisher of the unique journals, maybe the only one in China, or have some potential to be developed. For example, the Chinese verse. So this is the new title, just came out this year. It's a quarterly journal, also cooperates with Springer. So why we can do, as some speakers just mentioned before me, the National Long-Term Scientific and Technological Development Planning Outline is for the next 10 years. So they have provided many opportunities for Chinese and also for the Tsinghua University Press. So the GDP and the R&D, the GDP will remain a group very slowly for the next 5 or 10 years, but R&D and the expenditures for the education will be increased very high. And also the government will be very ambitious. We will have more achievements, more research, the new things created from China, not to bought or imported from the foreign countries. So and also the number of the patents and the citation number for the Chinese authors we hope will rank top 10 among all the countries. So this is for the next 10 years plan. So this is the key fields to be developed in the next coming 10 years. And Tsinghua University will have very good disciplines, so have more than 74 research institutes. And among them, 14 are national laboratories. So we'll have a very strong strength to do the research. And also Tsinghua is the leader of information technology and materials, biology, energy, and even the medical research in the future and in the world. So number two, why we can do this is the cultural reform still will promote the journal development. By the end of last year, so the journal number inside registers in China, inside China, the number has not increased a lot for the past 10 years because we have a very strict control of the new titles. And half of the journal in China, generally speaking, we have nearly 10,000 magazines, journals, but half of them are STM. And from in the past 10 years, in Chinese we have our own citation statistics. We have our own impact fact statistics. ISTIC is the full term of ISTIC is Institution for Science and Technology Information of China. And in the past 10 years, Chinese digital publishing has grown to a very high level, I think. CNKI, the largest database, the distribution for online products, is also a company partly owned by Tsinghua University. Now they have included more than 7,000 journals, Chinese journals. So most Chinese journals are on that database, the online product. And science paper in China, science paper online, this is the database of the Ministry of Education. Is very similar to the open access. The people can contribute and publish this online platform without peer review, and the peer review will be after the publishing. So I like this model. The authors, the scientists can submit and be published very quickly and fast, 1 or 2 weeks. So the journal publishing reform will be very fast in the future years. So from David mentioned from last year or from the year before last year, the government want to reform the non-political newspapers and magazines. So STM journals are run for political. China is still a country stress on the political issues. So they have some control of the Chinese language journals who contain the political things, even the social science. But for the STM journals, we'll have more opportunities to be reformed. The current situation for the Chinese STM journals are small, scattered in universities and societies and institutes, and we are weak. We don't have a world-famous journal. We don't have very big journal publishers. So the big challenge for the Chinese government is to reshape the market of the STM publishing. So we have to change the situation of the so-called small, scattered, and weak to big, to concentrate some influential journals into the big publisher companies and to be strong, to compete with the Western publishers. I'm sorry. So, Tsinghua University, we have both confidence and ability. I think I have confidence to do this because we have reformed from a university press to be a real independent and a legal marketing player. And now we are a real publisher. We have to compete not in the journal publishing, but also in book publishing and digital publishing. So the Tsinghua University Press is almost the #1 in the textbooks publishing. So we hope we can be a big publisher in STM publishing. So we have some success experience for the nano research. So only for 3 years, we have got a relatively high impact factor, and for the building simulation, and for the next years we have the plans to have some new journals. So from this year, we have changed the Tsinghua Science and Technology to narrow the scope. So before, some university journals will have too wide scope. So from these years, just to follow your model. So this is, I should say, I have learned a lot from the Western publishers from Philippa. You educated me a lot. So this is the change of the opportunity brought by change of my job. Before, I don't concern much about as the publisher should do. So from last year, I have to concern the cost, the working space, the labor, to have new employees. This is not the things I haven't done in the university process. So the journals published or owned by university will have a lot of titles. You cannot, if I didn't put the university after title, you cannot imagine it's published or owned or edited by the university. So before we do for the next step, we have some difficulties. This is summarized by CAST. CAST is a China Association for Science and Technology. It's the biggest association for science. So we have new titles. We will have new titles. So the university press, the university will have a background, will have backup of the professors and alumni. And also we can use these resources to launch the new title. And the editors can be have from the university in America. And we will publish special issues. We concentrate on one topic. And I hope we can have more technological and international cooperation with foreign friends. On one hand, we have to compete. On the other hand, we have to be friends to cooperate more closely and more widely. And also, besides the English language journals, we hope we can have more Chinese language journals. So I hope in the future, our university press will have more to publish more scientific research from China, and also maybe from the other countries. We have to gain more influence worldwide. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood me. Thank you.
Do any of you have a couple of questions for Jan? Anything pressing or jumping out to you, or shall we move on to the next presentation? Yeah, no.
Quick question, Jan. You said editors needed to be licensed.
Yes, in China, if you want to be an editor, you have to pass the examination organized by GAPP. For the young editors, for me, I'm old. I'm qualified, so I just go directly to the government to have the license. So every year we have to continue education. So we will have some training programs for the editors. Every year we're required for 72 hours to do the continual education on editing and also on something related to the publishing.